Corey. We are coming from you live from the Big Body. Well, not live, it'll be recorded by the time you see it. Anyways, we're riding around in the city. We are going to the Nobody Comes to Detroit, or no, Nobody Wants to Come to Detroit Anymore tour. So it's basically, if you've seen my Detroit photo tours, it's basically the same thing, just on crack. Like way better, way more cars, cooler. What is not cooler is the temperature though. It's hot as hell. So we'll see if any of these cars have problems, see if any of us have problems. Cause I don't know about this tropical shit Michigan's pulling. We don't like 90-degree weather. It's 92 today. We don't like that. Keep that in Florida. Anyways, Nobody Wants to Come to Detroit Anymore tour. Let's go. This thing's pretty badass. Corvair van truck thing. It's tough. The Truvant. Recently have this in a video. Little German/Hungarian car. Ooh. Got some oldies. Of course, we got the bubble gunner. Badass custom tail lights. Same couple with the Truvant have this. Big body Merc. 48 Plymouth. Visor gang. Big body bitch. So what the junk man's driving? Is this a 53? 53 New Yorker, I believe. Cars are so badass. I'm not sure, is that Junkman's too? I know he's got one. Alan's sexy ass Biscayne. I would cheat on the big body with this thing. Ooh, is she bad?
And you just stop at the pickup point. If you don't know where it is, you just look it up at GPS. So if everything's too hectic over the train station, you don't want to fuss to get a spot for a picture with all of this. Yeah. Just go straight to the Piquette Plant. The Piquette Plant they have a parking lot, and there's a lot of empty streets out there, so you have plenty of room. plenty of gas in
Yeah,
here.
yeah. Fresh gas.
Fresh gas.
Fresh gas.
So wait, he was the one talking about vapor lock, and he's the one locking.
Yep.
Yeah.
When do we fill it up? Usually it's like Memorial Day, Labor Day. Yeah. Or the change.
Okay, go check the turbo cabin. And,
Fill your blinker fluid.
yeah, check your blinker.
Out here at the Piquet plant. How you guys liking it so far? You guys were here last year, weren't you?
No, I wasn't.
No, this is your first year too?
First year.
My first year too. I thought Woodward was gonna be the death of me. All of them stop, go. I'm like, no.
Too much.
This is cool though.
Oh, yeah.
See you crop dusting all down the street.
Yeah, I feel bad for everyone behind me. Just leave a trail of smoke everywhere.
That's good. Yeah, there was a guy at the stoplight. He's like, your car's badass. Talking to me, and I looked at her. I was like, yours is equally as badass.
Tracks in on the south side of the plant's gone. But there's a replica of it in Greenfield Village. So I have a tour person right here shaking his head in agreement with the shit I'm spewing out. So that makes him feel pretty good.
We know he ain't bullshitting.
Car companies, most of the car companies did not early on, did not make their own bodies. It was all pretty much supplier.
So
1919, it was purchased by General Motors and became a division of GM. But that's Fisher Body 23. That's where the tool and die shops were. They made the stamping dies for the machine. That one was purchased by an Australian mining company about over a year ago. That's going to be turned into a large truck battery plant.
oh wow.
You know, strip mines where you have those big, massive dump trucks, you know, they're several stories tall. Well, they're going to go from diesel electric to 100% diesel, and the batteries that those trucks are going to be made and used will basically be built in that factory. So this neighborhood is going to change dramatically. I mean, Ford Piquet plant was been here since the early 2000s.
Well, it's funny because you can just look at it and tell how the architecture's changed, right?
Oh, yeah, right.
You have post and beam.
Right,
It's
yes.
brick, it's structurally brick.
Right.
You've got wood beams resting on the brick structure, and then brick columns inside. And then you've got this, which is all steel reinforced concrete. You've got that, which is steel reinforced concrete.
So I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to spoil it.
That's my fault.
Big in the New England area of the United States, because they had no idea how to build automobile factories. So Fields, Hinchman, and Smith built this building. Fields, Hinchman, and Smith is still around. It's now called the Smith Group, a very exclusive architectural company worldwide. They built this building, and again, it's a woolen mill style building, one of the last woolen mill style buildings ever built. Then they went to the direction with Elwood Con, with reinforced concrete. That's where that building is, reinforced concrete. That is not an Elwood Con building. It looks a lot like the 2 columns, but that is really
that goes between these buildings used to go all the way down to the Uniroyal plant on the Detroit River, and it was called the Belt Line. Oh, it's almost all tore up. So Aerocar was right there. Again, Alexander Malcolmson started it. So Ford wanted to build cheap cars. Alexander Malcolmson wanted to build expensive cars. Why? Bigger profit margins, right? Back then, raw materials were expensive. Back then, machining, casting, stamping, all that shit was expensive. Just like with electric cars today, you know, all those technologies were kind of, you know, at their frontier, so they're expensive. Yeah, so it didn't make sense for fucking cars. So anyway, Malcolmson got, well, he sold or he forked out his shares, and he started his own company, Aerocar, and it didn't last very long. It lasted like 10 months.
It really does sound like
he
a
stayed
little
a bajillionaire. The guy owned lumber and I think mostly coal. And then Hudson bought that building, and yes, J.L. Hudson, the same department store that became Target Macy's, started Hudson Motor Car in that same building right there. And they sold a model, I don't remember the name, I think the Model 12 or something, a simple name, so it's pretty forgettable. Like Model 2, I'm just fine. But it sold really, really well. So Hudson was only there for like, I don't know, I think maybe 2 years, and then they contracted Albert Kahn to build a huge factory, I want to say near Kahn. So they were only in that building for a little while. So yeah, that building was Aerocar and Hudson, and it was all kind of a spin-off of Ford. And the only reason I was doing
I'm massive tax backs. There's only like 6 of these in the Tripping Drink. You're kind of dearborn. One of my buddies is a designer. He just posted something about these. You gotta take a picture of it.
Okay.
And I kept telling him, I'm like, well, there's one of these at Mac and Cadillac.
This is badass. The junk man bought this. This is so cool. Look at that. This is tough. Look at this guy.
I know, just relax in the back.
I don't think it's nap time, fella.
It sure does feel like it. You know, that ice cream.
Hey, remember when you almost got creamed by a car hauler?
I did. Had a lot of fun. Good memories.
Yeah, they do. They think they're cool as fuck.
Cool AF, bud.
Looks cool to me.
Yeah, man.
We're all gonna hear this in our nightmare.
Very obvious why we stopped here, right? There's a handful.
No, it's not.
Badass.
Why'd we stop?
There's a handful of buildings like this in the city, probably more than a handful. And there's one that actually looks exactly like this on West Grand Boulevard, and it's in way better shape. But anyway, I bought this building. And my plan is to fix it up. I'm giving it about 3 years. That's not best case or worst case scenario. That's kind of like in the middle. So it should be realistic. And basically turn this into a do-it-yourself auto repair shop. And I'd like to cater towards antique vehicles because some of these things are kind of a lost art, you know, diagnosing a car mechanically and all that kind of stuff. So in between me and my friends, we're sort of acquiring an arsenal of old literature and stuff that, you know, tells you how to service those types of cars. So anyway, it's a gas station. And if you look beneath me right here, you'll notice this big, this building needs what they call a vapor mitigation system. So there's petroleum pollutants underneath the soil that can contaminate the inside of the building, and that's why I'm not actually going to let anybody in there. It's not a big deal, but if you spend full time in there, and it sure as hell isn't like certified for like residential use because, you know, it can be bad for you.
I'll sign a waiver.
So I'm not gonna let anybody in that building. This one has undergone, I think, 3 different tests. I want to say the 4th or the 3rd one's gonna be next week, and this one so far won't need a vapor mitigation system, which is great because this is the one that's going to be the money maker, right? This is what's going to offer, basically, you know, people are going to come in here and use this for the hoist and the tools and everything when they rent some space. This building, you know, this is like the showpiece, right? The centerpiece, and this one might take some time. So